It is Saturday morning and we are out here in San Luis Potosí, ready for a full day of seeing sights in the city. We got here late in the evening on Thursday after our week in the Huasteca, and I gotta say, it's nice to be back in a city. We are headed for some breakfast now. Forgot to take a video before I started digging into like my little egg pan thing. And Taylor got some chilaquiles. This restaurant was lovely, but the meal paled in comparison to the one we had at the much more local feeling El Quereque. After breakfast, we started our day of sightseeing in Plaza Fundadores. San Luis Potosí's historic center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the city is known for its colonial architecture. As we explored San Luis, it was difficult to resist drawing comparisons to another central Mexican city I know well, Querétaro. Both have well-maintained centros históricos with buildings that exemplify colonial style, but the similarities go beyond architecture. At one point, I told Taylor that San Luis reminded me of the Querétaro we first moved to back in 2017. A rapidly growing city with small-town charm that's coming into its own as an economic player in modern Mexico. Like Querétaro, San Luis is nestled inside the Mexico City-Guadalajara-Monterrey triangle, and this strategic location makes it an attractive place for businesses in industries ranging from manufacturing to agriculture. People are drawn to San Luis for work opportunities in one of the 5 fastest-growing economies in Mexico. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We are here in Plaza de Armas, all caffeinated up. I feel like this is the best caffeination level I've had since we've been traveling for the past week. And just out for a stroll. I gotta say, as far as first impressions of San Luis, this is a very quiet city. And I don't know, it seems really quiet to me, especially for a city in Mexico. What I'm getting at here is that I thought a city that is home to around 1.3 million people would feel busier, but our walk through the Centro Histórico was very peaceful. The large plazas and pedestrian-only walkways meant people weren't pressed together. Plaza del Carmen is named for the Templo del Carmen, and it's the city's largest plaza. Usually you can find street artists like clowns and musicians performing, as well as vendors selling street snacks. This sculpture, El Cofrade, makes reference to the Procession of Silence, which takes place annually during Easter week. We were fortunate to have overcast skies for our day of sightseeing and temperatures in the 70s. The weather in San Luis is similar to Mexico City, meaning even if it's hot during the day, the temperature drops dramatically once the sun goes down. At night, when we'd go out to dinner, I seriously regretted not having packed a jacket. We ended up moving inside at this restaurant because I was so cold out in the garden. We are just strolling now through the Parque Alameda. I think the city is starting to wake up, hearing more sounds. But yeah, a little park here in their Centro Histórico in San Luis. But the big park here, the main park here is Parque Tangamanga, which actually has 2 parts. Part 1 and Part 2 of probably one of the best named parks in Mexico.
It's a cool name. I don't know what it means.
Just fun to say Tangamanga.
Yeah.
Parque Tangamanga is the 2nd largest park in Mexico. Only Mexico City's Bosque de Chapultepec is bigger. Inside the park, you'll find museums, a zoo, various courts and fields for sports, as well as a skate park, which of course we had to check out. If you're going to be in San Luis, Facebook and Instagram are great resources to see what events are happening in Parque Tangamanga. If the expansive Parque Tangamanga isn't enough green space for you, one of the most popular day trips from San Luis Potosí is Laguna de la Media Luna. So this is a state park about, I think something like 2 hours from San Luis, near an area called Rio Verde. And we just paid 100 pesos each to get in, and we're gonna check it out and see what it's all about. La Media Luna, or the half moon in English, refers to the shape of the lagoon. Resting at the bottom are two mammoth skeletons. That fun fact, along with the ultra-clear water that stays right around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, make this park a popular spot for snorkeling and learning how to scuba dive. Rio Verde and La Laguna Media Luna are the gateway to the incredible Huasteca Potosina. We spent nearly a week exploring this off-the-beaten-path region of Mexico before ending our trip in San Luis Potosí. Trust me, this lesser-known part of Mexico deserves a place on your bucket list. Near the end of the 16th century, the Spanish discovered deposits of gold and silver near present-day San Luis, thus making the area an important mining hub along the Camino Real de Tierra Adentro trade route. We first popped into Mercado Hidalgo in search of our silver souvenirs, but when we didn't find anything to our liking, we checked out this nearby plateria. The sales associates were so helpful, and I found a delicate silver bracelet to remember this trip by. From there, we made our way through the lovely Jardín de San Francisco, where lots of people were making use of the public space to gather with friends. Just a block or so over, we came to the beautiful Plaza de Aranzazu. San Luis Centro is simple to navigate, and it's easy to get around on foot. Hungry and thirsty, we stopped in at La Piqueria. Our Ignacios, our loaded Ignacios. Pulque for me, mezcalito for Taylor, a limonada. Also off of Plaza de Aranzazu is Avenida Universidad. This stretch has lots of cafes and bars, including this craft beer spot where you can sample artisanal brews from across Mexico and all over the world. I want to show you the cutest little plaza where we spent our last morning in San Luis Potosí, but first, here's where we stayed. This 2-bed, 2-bath Airbnb is in the residential Tequisquiapan neighborhood, and it's one of the best Airbnbs I've stayed in recent memory. In addition to lovely details and great natural light, it had fast internet, which would make this a good place for someone working remotely. It's Sunday morning. It is our last day in San Luis, and we just came out here to Plaza Tequisquiapan to see what's going on, and there's an awesome little market happening. San Luis Potosí isn't as popular a tourist destination as other places in central Mexico. We only came across a handful of other foreigners during our 3 days there. But this growing city felt very livable to me. Events like this Sunday art fair are a great opportunity to connect with your neighbors and build community. Another fabulous community event, the streets near Plaza Tequisquiapan were closed to cars so cyclists and pedestrians could make use of them. San Luis Potosí has some really good things going for it. Be sure to check out my other adventures around San Luis Potosí state. I'm Alex from backpackingbrunette.com. Thanks for watching.
Vale la pena, tú eres el tema, tan sexy.